Today, I've done some off-screen grinding, as you can probably tell. Nothing too important. Again, we have a +9 Demon's Great Axe. I picked up the Pyromancy Flame. I freed Griggs, so he's waiting for us in Firelink. Unfortunately, because he's a bit of a snooty jerk, he is not going to be selling us any magic because we're too stupid to appreciate the arts. So, things on the agenda for today. I am headed back into Blighttown. We're going to pick up the Power Within spell. I'm also going to try and get 2 more levels going so that I can pick up the Bellowing Dragoncrest Ring. Actually, I think the first 2 levels are going to go towards attunement, so that way we can have 1 attunement slot. Forgot that I needed that first. Then we're going to do enough intelligence to get the Bellowing Dragoncrest Ring. He only sells if you have 10, I think, intelligence or higher, so we have to get that going first. And then we'll probably buy Magic Weapon from him at that time as well. We might have to keep bumping up attunement just that way we can cast both, but the results are just going to be astronomical damage. Speaking of which, I'm very curious to see what we can do to these guys, so let's find out. So there's 189, and so yeah, we're already doing 1,000 damage on a parry. Not too bad, considering that we haven't even fought a single one of the major bosses, so we are really doing quite well. Now, I also changed my equipment up a little bit. I decided I really do like the stone chest plate. The physical damage prevention that it's been giving me has been awesome while I've been playing. With a weapon like this, you're definitely going to want a little bit of poise if you're not fighting against bosses. Just against, you know, the normal little jerks. A little bit of poise can go a long way. Looks like I also have 1 humanity. I forget if the flame down there is kindled or not, so I may kindle it once I get down there. Definitely going to take out the blow dart guy on this run. Yeah, the last time I was leaving here, he actually got me toxic, and I had to make the decision if I was going to run over to Andre or if I was just going to run back to Firelink. So this is a little bit of revenge for that, just a little bit of revenge. I think it's just now it's down 1 more level. Because again, if he gets us here, it's not the biggest thing in the world. We'd be losing almost a level of souls if we die, but it saves us from having to deal with him for the rest of the game, so that's worth it. Again, anyone who doesn't know, those enemies do not respawn, thank God, so not too difficult to deal with. We've got 10 Estus and we've got 20 feet to go, so I am just going to heal up there. And if we're fast, we can catch that one. Looks like we'll be able to. Shiva should still be down here, and I think we actually have enough for 1 out of 2 levels for attunement, so we're looking like we're, as usual, we're looking pretty, doing pretty good. Can't lose track of my health, though. I almost did. Looking at how many souls do I have, ignoring the fact that I'm going to die a slow, painful death from poison. And you may have noticed, I said we were going to pick up Power Within, and we're going through Blighttown. Just to kind of show it off, I am going to go from bottom up. I did this before, and I believe that it's entirely possible. It does allow you to skip some of the more dickish sections as well. So Toxic is gone, we have kindled as far as we can go, and we're about 1,000 souls short of a level. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pop a soul item here. Oh, wrong category. I'm good at this game, have I mentioned that? Only the best. Alright, then we should just be able to bash this guy out here. I remember saying I was about 1,000 short, so he should take care of the difference. And hopefully that'll get us... I forget if you need 9 or 10 attunement. Oh, wow. Yeah, off by that much. It's so depressing. Ugh, that was just so much effort. We had to swing that club once. Which I suppose for a character would be effort, but for me, I don't care. Alright, so attunement, 1 slot, gives us 0 attunement slots, so it looks like we are going to have to get that up to 10 in order to be able to use Power Within. And that is essentially going to turn us into Turbo Beast mode, whatever you want to call it. We're going to go full Super Saiyan 10. We're going to be using Hokuto Shinken. Whatever would just give the impression that we are just going to absolutely dominate. That's what we're going to do. Assuming we ever hit our targets. But, you know, that's step 2 of a 10-step program. As I'm sure that you've already told. I feel like I'm, you know, blue balling you guys for boss fights pretty hard right about now, and that is intentional. I have kind of gone back and forth. I haven't opened any new fog gates. I don't think I've opened any that I haven't shown. That was kind of weird. Wasn't expecting him to do a roll there. Gonna heal up, and we're gonna narrowly miss being toxic. Narrowly miss. Narrowly. Narrowly. Oh my god! That was insane! I should so be toxic right now. Wow. I am beside myself for that. So we do have the Havel's Ring equipped, obviously, or else we wouldn't be able to wield this this weapon along with the stone armor. I am able to go with the full stone set and still be under my weight limit if I'm doing it that way. But I do I do like the medium rolls, so I'm just kind of compromising there. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do in the future. I think because we're definitely going to get the grass crest shield, which I can never seem to say right, to +10 in order to make it so that we can turn it into the Great Shield of Artorias. So once we have that, the weight limit's going to be a little bit trickier. I definitely have the tools to cure this poison, I just don't want to. But I think that shield weighs, I want to say like 15 pounds or so. So it'll make it a bit tricky. Oh, we got another blow dart guy. He's going to cause us some grief. But by the time that we reach him, we're basically at our destination. So I think... Oh! Or he could just kill himself. I mean, that works too. Well, gonna do a little dance with this guy. Probably gonna try and kick us. Okay, there we go. And boop him on the head. Oh shit, that didn't kill him. Ah, that shows me to underestimate him. I just really wanted to show off the power of the stone armor. That's it, yeah. See how little damage you did? Perfect. Alright. Now we just have to deal with this guy. You know, different enemies in this game definitely have different difficulties. Different enemy, different difficulties. Ugh. Mouthful. In order to parry. And so you can see with those barbarians, the club ones, I don't think they're too bad. I will parry them all day, every day. Except for days where I'm feeling lazy or sick or just kind of tired, low on health. But you get the idea. Like, you can parry their clubs pretty reliably, pretty easy. Basically the same thing as Havel. It's just a split second, you know, before you think it would hit you. Go ahead and do the block. You'll take that guy out, again, just by the narrowest of margins. We have avoided becoming toxic in Blighttown. Which, definitely some good luck. Trying to think of what the line is, where it's like fate and fortune are on your side. I don't know. Anyone who's played the original Dragon... Is it Dragon's Quest? No. Is it? I don't know. That game. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, right? Nobody knows what I'm talking about. That's what I'm used to. In the real world, I work in insurance, so whenever I talk about any kind of video games, people just smile and nod. I'm like, yeah, whatever, blow it out your ass. So, and then this guy, oh, we got a guy behind us. And the camera's gonna go crazy, we're gonna take some damage, but everything worked out. We've still managed to maintain our being a human status for much longer than I would have thought. Alright, and now we can officially get the hell out of Blighttown. That takes care of everything except for maybe one thing that we'd want to do here. The only remaining item we'd want to pick up would be the Eagle Shield. And I think because we're going to go with the Great Shield of Artorias, that we're going to go ahead and opt not to use that. So I'm just going to go ahead, pull out a Homeward Bone. As you can see, I finally picked them up from Firelink and use that to go back. I could do a little farming, seeing as this is only +9. I just got bored of trying to go through and get all the souls for it. But I think I'm just going to kill that guy once. I'm just going to use souls for the rest of it, just to get another level. I think it's 4,000, so we should have that. And I don't know, I have hoarding temptations. So a lot of times in this game, I catch myself with probably 20 to 30,000 souls just sitting in my inventory, and it feels good to actually be going through and use them. Actually, I did pick up a bottomless box while I was over getting the residence key so that way we could rescue Griggs. Oh, weird. Okay. I thought I saw an enemy that snuck up on me, and I was wondering how that happened. But yeah, as I was saying, picked up the bottomless box from Griggs, so our equipment's going to look a little bit neater. And then we will pop that last attunement. Gives us an attunement slot, which is what we want. We are level 40, and we can finally start taking on some bosses. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm feeling like we might stand a chance here, guys. I don't know. This game's pretty hard. But I think with Power Within in this axe, we might have it in the bag. So, I'm going to fight my way back up into Firelink. And then we're going to go and we're going to take on the Taurus Demon. Now, a lot of people have had trouble with the Taurus Demon. But we are going to be using a +9 Demon's Great Axe along with an Electric Resin and Power Within. So I think we stand, I'd say probably about a 50-50 shot of beating him. I don't know. We might have to use the plunging attack trick. He could be a little tricky. And then we just have to wait for the elevator, get some elevator music playing. I've been having a lot of fun with my off-screens lately. I've been listening to this band, The White Panda, for a while now. It's been what's playing in my car these days. He does good mashups of techno and club music. And I wouldn't listen to most of the songs on their own, but together, I'm like, yeah, this is my jam. And recently I discovered a similar band that's called Girl Talk. And it's kind of interesting, kind of weird. Some of the songs that he mashes up, I just... You wouldn't think that it would be in a techno song, I'll put it that way. And the reason why I say that, it's stuff like John Lennon's Imagine All the People as the background, and then they're playing some rap stuff over that, or like Radiohead's Creep. I'm like, you don't even play Radiohead's Creep with Radiohead's Creep. If you did that, it would just cause a sadness vortex. If you play that song on top of itself, not like double the volume, but just played it twice, then, you know, you just have people lining the streets, bawling their eyes out. It's basically what we've got here where I am anyway. Mountain, Iowa, and it has been raining to death. Oh, I'm getting invaded. Well, that's something new. Well, that's actually kind of obnoxious. Really don't want to deal with this. So, I think I might save you guys how terrible I am at that, waiting for either this to pass over. I could just kill myself, I guess. Not losing much. Just gonna go ahead and do that. Whee! Death. If I wasn't recording, I would have just stuck around. I am just about the worst player at PvP in this game. I think my track record with any kind of conventional weapon is pretty well horrible. I've done alright when I was using a whip, which is a really odd thing to say, because that weapon's terrible in PvE, but for some reason against players, it's just, it's the wild card. But, I mean, most of the time, the people that you encounter around here at level 40 that are invading you, especially at this late in the game's life cycle, are just going to be the guys who are actually good at it. So, I mean, unless I ran into a total scrub, it would just be me wandering around for 5 minutes, then finally getting my ass kicked, so... I figured I'd save you guys the trouble of having to watch me do that. A lot of people really seem to enjoy this game for the PvP. I just don't get the meta for it, I guess. It has that weird kind of prisoner's dilemma thing to it, where if you're prepared for PvP and you enjoy someone, and you invade someone who enjoys PvP, then you're both going to have a good time. But like me, if you're somebody who's just trying to dick around and have fun with the game and you get invaded, then you're going to have a bad time. Unless you get invaded by someone who has no clue what you're doing, then you're both either going to have a really good or really bad time. I don't know. But it's part of the game, so I don't like to go offline. At this point, I don't really do any White Phantom summons either. I don't know. I like to keep my options open. And actually, I'm probably going to reverse my stance on that, just because I can. I may do some White Phantom summons outside of Quaylog's area, just so that way I can grind some souls out. That should be pretty quick. The only reason why I haven't traditionally done that on the PC version is the summoning has been really touch and go. I recently installed the fix for that though, so hopefully I'll be able to get a little bit more action in. And hopefully I'll be able to make it at least to the Taurus Demon in this episode. if we make it to him, then we should have absolutely no problem making it to the gargoyles as well. And I could just backtrack and go through the shortcut and Firelink to go and fight them. Let me just do that off the bat, and then come back for the Taurus Demon. That might be the way to go. That'll be exciting. Show you guys the true power of this fully operational battle station. Would be tempting to summon Brolair for that fight, just to show the true damage output for this, because I think pretty much it's going to be, I'd say 3 hits for the first gargoyle. That's my optimistic guess, is about 3 hits tops, and he'll be down. So, like I was saying before, here we are again, just visiting. Ignore this. Go ahead and set our spawn. Gargoyles are also going to get us probably 1 level. I don't think that we'll get much more than that. Really need to start using it on things other than strength and intelligence or attunement, but I think that we're just going to keep going to it just to make things interesting. This is probably the least level up I've ever had my strength and endurance, so it's a bit of an experience that way, but kind of fun. Something different at least. There are a lot of different ways that you can play this game, so I'm kind of glad that I'm taking another avenue, something fun to do. Alright, so this guy, he's down. These guys, they're not going to be too much of a challenge. This actually has a pretty good R2 attack that has a pretty wide arc that it hits, but I just like funneling them through this doorway. It's pretty much the easiest way to deal with them. Get them all lined up in a row, as you can see. Especially if you're actually in the doorway, then you can generally take out all of them without too much trouble. Says the guy who's level 39 and still here. You know, these guys that are dropping a full 24 souls shouldn't give us too much trouble. We only have to take out 50 of them to gain a level in order to be 500. Math is hard. Don't do drugs. Okay, so we're going to preemptively pop a Power Within. And that'll do 100% of our health over the course of this boss fight, so we just kind of have to watch that a little bit. Looks like it's not doing too much damage. Alright, so what did I say? There's 1, and there's 2. He's down. Okay, so 2 hits on the gargoyle. That took him out. Here's the second one. Is that not insane? And we'll do an R2 on this one. And there we go, 1,292 damage in a single attack. So, as you can see, that was a pretty difficult fight. It was touch and go for a long time there. Wow. Wow. I'm going to heal here, just because I think that my Power Within may actually kill me on the course of this ladder. That is just fantastic. I'm really curious now to see how much of a fight Quaylog's going to put up. That is... 1 hit. 1 hit kill. Could have 1 hit killed the first one, too. Wow. And this is just +9. We still have a ways to go. We still have another 6 more levels that we can pump into this bad boy. So there we go. Ring my bell. So I'm not sure if anyone's done a like a timing on the speedrun for the gargoyles, but that's got to be a pretty close contender. I mean, that was, you know, a full 10 seconds that I was fighting them. If only I'd been wearing lighter armor, then it wouldn't have taken half as long, I'm sure. Okay, and there goes the Power Within, which is fine. And the reason I'm taking the long way is just so I can learn the what is it gesture. That is just the absolute cockiest gesture. Anytime you see that, you just makes the blood boil a little bit, you know? How dare you use that? So, we might as well sub it out. There we go. That roll was definitely intentional, by the way. 100%. Alright. So now we'll just head on back to Firelink. Or will we take on the Taurus Demon? Well, if I head back to Firelink, I can take on Quelaag, so let's go ahead and do that. Should be enough time in this episode to get that going. So we'll go ahead and level up when we're in Firelink. I think we'll start with Intelligence this time around. I don't live by your rules, Elevator. You don't know me. Warning, do not attempt an actual elevator. So part of the reason why having the Intelligence is crucial, as you saw, we absolutely dominated the gargoyle fight. That's pretty much how this whole thing is going to go, I'm sure. But the Intelligence is actually going to let us buy the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring, and that is going to allow our power within to have double the, or not double, 50% longer on their time. So instead of being like 60 seconds, it's going to be 90 seconds. It's also going to reduce the damage that we take from it. Both of those factors are going to make boss fights even easier, if that's something that you can believe. I know it must really seem like I've been struggling against these bosses, but... I think that's slightly faster, but it's mostly for style. I don't know if I've ever fallen off that bridge, but I've always worried about it. Try lava. And again, we're not going to bother with giving those guys the time of day. I think if you're just starting out, they're not too bad to farm. They give 500 souls, which is a decent amount, especially for right in the early game. Like I was saying before, they're pretty easy to parry, so that makes them a good choice of enemy for that. Yes, they do give 500 souls, as one proves as he jumps off a cliff. Perfect. Bam. And again, with Quelaag, we're not going to worry about summoning the NPC, Maneater Mildred. I would just really draw out the fight a little bit longer. It'd, you know, take us at least 2 hits to take out that extra 50% of health that she's going to get, so why would we bother? We could take the souls that we get and go over to Shiva and pick up something nice, but I think we'll just ignore that option. I don't think he really is selling anything that we need. Afterwards, we may stop by and kill him, though. I don't think we need the Dark Woodgrain Ring this playthrough, but I think... Oh, okay. Everything just started to make sense now. I don't think we'll need the Dark Woodgrain Ring, but I do believe that the Iron Shield, the Banded Iron Shield, that shield is awesome, so we may actually want that instead of a Great Shield if we ever feel the need to parry. So it might be worth it to take him out for that. I didn't want to do it before just because I was worried that I couldn't successfully kill him. And I'd have to go request absolution, go through the Forest Hunter Covenant, all that stuff. Which is just more effort than it's worth. But I'm reasonably confident that if we got in 2 attacks, he would be down. We could also take out his assassin in the same time period, so it really wouldn't be too tricky. And we're just gonna... No. We're poisoned, oh no. Probably take care of that. Poison and Power Within combined could make it so that we have to do a lot more health management than we would want to do in this fight. So fortunately we have some Moss Clumps. We also have some Estus. We're also moving slow as molasses because we're using Havel's Ring. And over there we can see some guys throwing boulders. So actually I've missed this every other time playing this game. I kept seeing that item out of a corner of my eye when I was going down the water wheel, and I was always like, is that a special drop? Is that something I should be picking up? But every time I go and think of it, it was never there. So I'm always like, what the hell is that? And it just now hit me. I actually have moss clumps equipped, fortunately. It just now hit me that that was the barbarian who fell to his death. His item is right at the water wheel, so it's kind of funny. So again, we're just going to heal outside the gate. We're going to pop our power within. We'll go ahead and trigger the cutscene. I don't want to make this video too not safe for work, so better take care of this boss quick, before anybody sees the boobs. So, jump and attack first, that's fine. Ooh. Get out of the way of that. That could potentially kill us, actually. Get in a quick hit here. I'm surprised that she didn't do another fire thing after that. Usually, it's like there's a certain damage threshold that it takes for her to do that. So we're actually... Our damage is not too insane here. If you strafe left, she really can't hit you, and you get basically a free attack, which I messed up because my attack was too slow. Looks like she's gonna barf. And then one, and she's down. This game has some really hard boss fights, guys. Really difficult. I'm actually kind of frustrated because I think... Let's see, how many souls does she give us? Oh, 20,000. So between that and selling her soul to Frampt, can't forget to heal, we may actually have enough to get that extra point of int and then pick up the Bellowing Dragon Crest Ring. So I think I'm going to head back. I'm going to do both those things. Actually, I might as well just head back now and level up. But then I'm just going to off-camera some of that traveling, buying, and if I need the souls, grinding. So I'll probably do a little bit of grinding here just to get the plus 10 on the Demon's Great Axe. And that's what's going to take us out of this episode. And then, can we get... looks like we need probably 2 more levels for attunement, so I'm going to hold on to that. But we have the 10 intellect, and I guess I could put another point in endurance. I'm going to go for attunement just because I know eventually I'll want the 2. So I'm just going to do that. And that is going to call it an episode. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching as always.